Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is going to be another Paintisode. You guys liked the last one I did, so I'm back again. The target will be for this would be about an hour, and the whole idea with this is that normally I'd be doing painting, you'd be doing painting. After you're done, you can post down what you got done, and hopefully we all benefit from this while I yap on and talk about random stuff. Unfortunately, I'm a retard, and oh geez, maybe I'm insulting people. Unfortunately, I'm a dumbass, and I forgot my paints at home. I was really hoping that I could go and paint that new Forge World Squig Hopper and use it for that tournament, but unfortunately the way, I was so busy, I also had the War Machine tournament, could not happen. And then when I came over here, I'm so smart, I left the paints down in my basement, and so no paints for a full week when I could have been doing some painting. Smart. Luckily, this thing I'm just absentmindedly tossing around is a storm wall. So I already have one storm wall. This will be storm wall number 2. For you Warhammer guys, this is like basically going to 2 Kadai destroyers, right? I got the one. I'm the semi-prick. Now I'm just full-fledged asshole at this point here. So, yeah, that's what I'll be doing. If I get this done, I have some other stuff I can put together. Plus, I won that big Orc and Goblin army there for, well, not one. I bought it for 80 bucks. And we can go through that and see what we have there, too, because it'll probably be coming back. This thing has a lot of pieces. Most stuff from Privateer Press doesn't come with any instructions or anything like that, but this one does because it is actually a lot of pieces. So I'm going to start gluing this stuff together and start yapping, and hopefully you guys have your painting stuff ready, and we'll just do this all together. Meanwhile, despite the fact that it's minus 30 degrees Celsius outside, I'm being a true Canadian, and I got a Slurpee here too. So let's begin. I'll start putting together the little booties of this guy. But I guess one of the things I can start talking about is with the Night Goblins. And how after I started playing them, I started remembering the fact that I really like Night Goblins. They're a lot of fun. And there's a lot I can actually be doing with these guys. There's the easy thing I did there for taking big blocks of 100 and stabby and all this good stuff. But man, if you stick with the Goblin theme, when you go to the larger sizes, say like, 24, 25, 3,000 even, you can make a pretty good army. And I think there's a big trap that a lot of Goblin players get into. And it mainly comes from the fact that they just don't want to paint and handle that many Goblins. But really, you can get a lot of Goblins on the field and a lot of support too. I mean, already there, when we were just at 1,600 points, I already had my general, I already had my BSB, I already had, 2 massive blocks, I already had the 1 Squeakherd Horde, and already 2 Doom Divers, 2 Rock Lavas, and also had a Cave Squig in there too. So, you already can get a lot of this stuff in there already at that point. Now, when you go past that, I mean, you could be adding in things like for War Machines, like adding some Spear Chuckas and stuff like that, but the problem is that especially with Night Goblins, where you're more of a horde army that's going table edge to table edge, Spear Chuckas, you're going to have a really hard time trying to place these things. So, I mean, they're cheap and you have the points, but otherwise, it's either 35 points for a Spear Chucka, or you could be getting another 34-point hero with a great weapon, which is probably going to be more useful in the long run. So what you can do to get a lot more out of the army, gluing stuff to my table already, is you can already do stuff like, okay, you can add in Fanatics. That's pretty easy. You don't want to go overly crazy with Fanatics because then you could just be wasting points, but you definitely want to have some in there, especially because if you are going pure Night Goblin, you just don't give a damn, right? Oh, I shot out 2 Fanatics, and now to get the charge I want, I have to go over them. Whatever, I'll lose 7 Fanatics. That's not really that big of a deal. But you can also do a lot of other things too, right? Like normally with this, you're not going to be a very powerful army. So you're going to be doing a lot of your stuff from range. And with that, you have to stall the army. So ways you can do that while going pure Night Goblins is you could either be taking small groups of 20 that can go up, release the fanatics, then flee through the big units and do it that way, or because in that way there they can always redirect into your main block, so that's not perfect. But another thing you can do is do it with heroes, right? You already have the ones that have the great weapons, they're in there, and you just send out them forward, right? And double flee, and all of a sudden, after one double flee, you're getting a whole nother round of shooting and magic damage on them. So it can be very, very annoying to play. Plus, if you do the whole thing, you go to Skarsnik too. You know, you have the guys that are rolling a 1 and starting off the board, and that can be really annoying if you have something that wants to start on. Or even just the fact, you know, the distance, right? You know, instead of starting in Blood and Glory up 15 inches, I'm now starting at the very back of the board. So that can be very annoying, although to be fair, Skarsnik is so many points, so many points. I really wish his spell, his little bounce spell, used to be a lot better and a lot more powerful. It used to be one of those things like, oh damn, I gotta watch out for that thing from Skarsnik. But now it's just kind of like a silly little side thing. It's almost like a more of a nod to the past of what Skarsnik used to be. But you know, I'm actually starting to think about these things, taking them, them being the Night Goblin army, and actually going crazy with it. It's going to mean that I need to paint a lot of Night Goblins, but then again, I have a week coming off, or a week off coming up here, and I could definitely paint up easily over that time another 100 Night Goblins. Also, with this, the stuff we're going to be going through, I got another Squig Herd. Well, Horde. And they're obviously something that's also very, very powerful because it's being run by Night Goblins. It works perfectly in the theme. And yeah, I mean, those things are just very, very deadly. And they don't even need to be ran as the big blocks too, right? Just like how you send out the fanatics to kill stuff, you can have little groups of these guys that are meant to go out there, explode, and do damage and stuff like that, right? Just take the smallest unit possible, you know, take one squig. Some people debate whether you could do it with 0 squigs. Just don't fight it and take one, right? It's easier to do that. But, you know, you go up there and all of a sudden, boom, when they explode, D6 strength 5 hits to everything around it. And for not very many points, you can do a ton of damage. All right, I kind of jumped to doing the top of this model. I might want to go back and start working from the bottom up. One of the things that is kind of annoying with these larger colossal gargantuan kits is that they actually have a lot of, it's a lot like Forge World. For those who have ordered things from Forge World, and they have like the pour points where things went in, it's really big and thick, and you have to really try and cut those things off. These are pretty bad for having those too. It's pretty annoying, but they're beautiful models. You know, you hear a lot about how, oh yeah, this stuff looks all stupid and big shoulder pads and blah, blah, blah. To be honest, this stuff is really, really nice. All right, let's glue this leg on. But so yeah, I'm all of a sudden I have the little bug where I'm wanting to run more goblin themed things. I know when I just do the big blocks of 100, that actually gets on the nerves of some people. I'm talking about viewers, where it's like, oh, this is just really boring and stuff. But just looking to try and mix things up. Also, I used to actually have a good-sized unit of Squig Hoppers, but when the new rules came out and they're garbage, I traded them away for some other stuff. But now I might bring them back, especially if it's a themed force. It doesn't hurt too much to have at least like a token group to go up. And I was actually really surprised watching one of Anthony from the Sustainable Center. He went against them with his ogres, and they took on those ogres pretty good. And it makes sense because they're faster than the ogres, and those 2 strength 5 attacks plus the attack from the rider, it can do some real damage there. So, you know, it definitely has its points. And so where I kind of like, you know, rode it off, it still has its place. Now, keep in mind, there are a lot of elves out there, and those elves are just going to strike first, and they're just going to kill them, right? I mean, I can send my 5 squig hoppers into a unit of 5 fast cav, and I'm going to lose that one almost every single time. So definitely not something where it's like, oh yeah, they're awesome. They're the best thing to take now. But hey, you know, I can still play around with it. I also own now 3 cave squigs. So I could go for the unit of them if I wanted. It'd be really silly. But hey, you know, why not, right? Make one of them a lord. Give him the battle axe, the last walk, bouncing around, chopping things up. It'd be fun to do. And that's one of the great things I love with the night goblins, or just, sorry, the orcs and goblins in general. They're just so fun to play because there's so many silly things in there. You kind of get that with some of the other armies too. Say, like with Skaven has some silly fun options, and Beastmen too. You know, you could say some of that stuff is as well. But it just seems where it's like, you know, for the Skaven, their big things are just more unreliable. But for the orcs and goblins, we're just freaking crazy, and we're just doing insane things. If it has a little chance of killing something, sure, do it. Yeah, makes sense. So, so fun to do. I guess Anthony used to play orcs and goblins. I don't think Once Bitten ever has, but man, I'd love to get them going on that. I was actually watching some of Once Bitten's latest stuff, seeing that he's been having some pretty bad luck with his empire, hasn't been going his way, and you know, maybe that'd be a nice little break for him. Get away from the you know, ultra competitive empire and just have some fun with some orcs and goblins for a while. Why not, right? I don't know if that's really up his alley. I mean, he's more of a serious player. For those, I'm sure many viewers never got to see him play in person, but whenever I used to be watching his videos, he always seemed like a very serious guy. But when I saw him play in person, he really is, right? There's a lot of people where their personas are different depending whether they're on screen or they're in person, right? Like, especially when I'm here on the screen, I can really open up, have lots of fun. And then it really depends in a tournament, right? Depends who I'm playing, whether I'm being really serious, really quiet, really goofy. But Once Bitten, he's very serious, even in the game. You know, he's there studying, and you know, you'd almost think that he has a book in his hands that he's trying to study and, you know, break down his battle plan and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, I just think it'd be interesting to see what he would do with orcs and goblins, or geez, what is Anthony going to do with orcs and goblins? We don't have any purple sun. You know, you just take the wizard hat. Did I get purple sun? Nope. Game over. I quit. No, I'm just joking. But talking about those guys, they now have the package out and the official date for Brawler's Bash. Where'd that leg go? And what it's going to be is the very last week of May. So May 31st and then going to June 1st. That's when the main tournament is. It's 3,000 points, no comp, but also no Grand Army. And then the day before, whoa, what am I doing? They are actually running a doubles tournament. And with that there, I've actually already paired up with Shimmergloom from Bull City Gaming. So that should be very interesting. He does Orcs and Goblins. I do Orcs and Goblins. I'm actually wondering now what our take should be on this. Should we just both go Orcs and Goblins? And then how competitive do you need it, right? I was actually thinking that it might be really fun and crazy just to say, like, all right, you make your Orcs and Goblins army. I'll make my Orcs and Goblins army. We're not going to do any tactics together whatsoever. No planning, no worked out synergy. And then when we get there, we're going to trade armies and just really have fun with it. But, I mean, that's one of those things where, you know, him in person, he's a really fun guy. And, you know, I'm sure he'd be up for it. But at the same time, I'm sure he'd love to kick some butt as well. All right. Come along with the big guy here. With that, yeah, I definitely am going Anthony now looks like he can go as well, so that's fantastic. Um, I I wouldn't say it's 100%. I mean, right now, last time I saw him posting, it was like, oh yeah, he can make it. But the thing is that I mean, when you have a baby on the way, you really don't know what's going to happen, right? You never know if the baby might come early, if there's complications, all that stuff. I mean, when you're pregnant, it's really hard to do just normal day-to-day stuff. So it could come to it, and Mrs. Anthony would say like, okay, stay home. I need your help, and I mean that would be completely understandable. So, but at this point here, it does look like the three of us are going. I haven't really heard one way or the other from Nick from the Long Island Gaming. It would be really nice if he could go too. I was actually having this idea as well that it'd be really funny if we could get, Anthony, Once Bitten, Nick, myself, and do like a triumph and treachery game. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I'd totally have to screw people over. Although now that they're going to watch this, they're just all going to team up on me. But, just something like that, one of the things we'll definitely have to do because, I have to remember, last time I put this together, I really screwed it up. Because something had to be in place. Right, it's after this. I'm all right. Don't worry. What was I saying? I was talking about Brawler Bash, and I was talking about people coming. Right, our name. So last time, I just kind of like forced on us that we would be Team YouTube, right? That was myself, Once Bitten, and Anthony from the Sustainable Center. And it kind of stuck. They do a thing there where they do an award for the best team because they have this whole team system, or at least they did last year. I'm not totally 100% if it's here as well. But that actually was there. Now, of course, we probably should find a different name. We're not really representing YouTube. With YouTube going crazy with copyright, we might want to find something else. I actually don't know if Once Bitten would want to be part of that, or if he's part of some other group there now, like Shimmer Gloom is part of the Fancy Lads and all this stuff. But I think it's kind of fun, especially for something like here at Brawlers to bring ourselves together. I don't know what other battle reporters will be there too. Oh, I know Bromance Wargaming will be there. I don't know who else. Hopefully, and this, I mean, I'm going to say this every single time. But please, if you're in the area, this is around Raleigh and all this stuff. They're on the East Coast. Please come out. I really, really want this to get to a 100-person tournament. That would just be fantastic. And I'd love to meet all you guys. I'm coming all the way from Alberta. So if I can come all the way across the country from a different country, you guys can make like the 4-hour drive or whatever it is, right? So please, it'd be awesome. And the place where it's at, too, Atomic Empire, that place is massive. Absolutely massive. I am so jealous every single time I'm in there because it's just, I just wish I could have something like that. It's just so huge and so perfect. You would think, if there was an empty warehouse and they're like, you know what? How about we run a gaming store here? Oh, yeah, sure. That's how big this place is. How the hell did I get that thing in there? So anyway, yeah, there you go. Brawler Bash, I'll be there. I'm not really sure what I'll be taking. I'm going to have to see what they do with Dwarves. I'm going to have to see if Ninth comes out in the meantime. Who knows what other releases will be out by that time. So who knows with that. Unfortunately, actually, I'm just thinking now, I'm going to actually have to try and pack 2 armies because there'll be the doubles tournament and then it'll be the regular tournament. So that'll be fun. For those who don't remember, last year when I went, I had a lot of trouble with my luggage. First of all, I had a lot of stuff break, and then they actually lost my luggage. So on the way back, there was like 3 weeks where I thought, I just don't know Orcs and Goblins anymore. Malorian is no longer an Orcs and Goblins player, and it was pretty devastating. Luckily, in the end, they did find it, and I did get my army back. But with that in mind, all right, son of a... The thing I keep on looking at this here is that when you attach the body, there's like little hydraulics that go in, and there's a big one in the front that's pretty easy, but then there are these little tiny ones that go in here too. If I had some forceps or tweezers, that'd be a lot easier. In fact, I have some, but I don't want to run off. I'll figure something out. But yeah, if I could go and design an army that would fit in my bag, that would be better. And so this is where maybe I'll just bring my Throg army, because I just take a bunch of trolls, done. Or it's maybe an idea like maybe I bring the Night Goblins. There's lots of them, but they don't really break. So I could just take like 500 Night Goblins, put them in a pail, and there's my carry-on. And maybe, you know, the little metal stuff like the war machines, those I can pack in with my suitcase and stuff like that. But I really want something, for the most part, it's not going to break, and I can hold on to it, so I'm not going to lose it. I don't care if I lose my suitcase and all my clothes and my razor, but if I lose my army, I'm going to be a very sad panda. All right, so this guy is coming along. What's that big one? Where do you go in? Way back there. Or is it this top one? It's the back one. Talking about my campaign I'm doing, the Around the World in 12 games, I'm really happy to see that right now I think we're at about a dozen people who are taking part. And, you know, that's really promising that this whole thing's going to work in general. Last time I was talking about how when I did one with Warseer, it didn't really work out and all this. But already, even for the next month, I've been saying it on the YouTube Battle Reporter's Google Plus page, but the next army for next month, yeah, the army for next month is going to be Empire. I'm going to be doing a separate video on this later this weekend, actually, where I'm going to be going through and showing you where to find all the reports from all the people that took part and doing a little chat there. But already for the next one, people are saying like, oh, you know, Empire, that's going to be hard to set up because there's not many people around. But hey, I could set up another game with my 500 points. And, you know, 500 points, it's a pretty small game and all the rest of it. But really, this is all about just getting more battle reports out there, showcasing more people. So still, I mean, you're running out of time if you haven't done it yet. But, you know, the one for this month is Skaven. So if you can, try and get that game up, post it up, let me know, and we'll go from there. Talking about let me know, I am getting more and more upset with Google. You know, Anthony has his own problems with Google and YouTube because he keeps on having some trouble with his Hangouts and stuff. But I just can't even get them started because my messages keep on not getting to me. Used to be, you send me a message, I'd know right away. It would go straight to my Hotmail account, and then I could check it out, no problem. Now it doesn't even tell me. So, I mean, every couple of days, I have to go in, and it's not even from the main menu. I have to go over to my video manager, then over to community, and then go down to inbox, and then I can find it there. And this last weekend, I was supposed to be doing a Google Hangout with a guy talking about the Wood Elves. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to have a lot of fun. But unfortunately, I didn't get the message. And not only that, it didn't go to my inbox until like the Tuesday or Monday after. I'm looking back, I'm like, geez, here it is. And I just missed out on the whole thing. So anyway, that's very annoying. The other thing, too, I'll have to test around with is the last time there that I did the Google Hangout. Jeez, keep coughing. The last time I did the Google Hangout, I had a lot of issues where it just, you know, this is the quality of my camera, right? It should be at 1080, and definitely it did not record at 1080. Somebody thought that maybe I had a bad connection, but I'm pretty sure that's not it because I have a pretty good connection where I was doing it from. So when I do this next update for my campaign, I'm going to be doing that on live because I'm going to have to go through, do screen share, show you where to find it on YouTube. It's not like I'm just going to post up links. I'm actually going to be going to these places, giving you a taste of what it is, and then you can go there for the full battle report. But yeah, hopefully that one there, I'll get good resolution. If I don't know what I'm going to do because it would be really helpful if it was worth my while. Yeah, that's right. Let's put this thing together. And past that, you know what? I really want to do more live stuff, but I don't want to be talking about it each time. It seems every time I'm on here, I'm talking about how I want to do more live stuff. I'm wondering actually if Anthony is having some trouble with it too, because I know for a while there he was doing a whole bunch of the live games there, and now those are kind of stopped. So I don't know if he was just running out of people to play against, or if he's having some other issues, but yeah, gonna slow down for him too. So I'm just wondering what's going on there. The nice thing with these arms here for this storm wall is that they're all ball jointed, so I can do my arms however I wanted. So the other guy is just kind of more boring. I gotta kind of decide what I'm gonna do with this guy. He also has these little Gatling guns that kind of come out from his chest there. Some people actually set them up so that they're underneath the arm. You get some pretty cool conversions for these guys. But yeah. Let's take another drink here first. For tournaments coming up, there is one tournament here in February. It is Blood in the Snow. It's one where you get a special character for half off. And really, unfortunately, I cannot make it to this one. I really would love to. I would definitely be taking Mazdamondi, but it's the same time as Mrs. Malorian's birthday, and if I decide to go to that instead, I would just be in a lot of trouble. It would be a very, very poor choice. So, unfortunately, I'm going to miss that tournament. So really, February, that'll mean there'll be no tournaments for me. Just, sorry, it's just the way it is. Then after that, the tournament that's going to be in March is actually my own. After I'm done this video, I'm going to be doing a little video about that. It's not so much for my general viewers, but I like posting it then onto Facebook so everybody can really see what it's all about. But it's my tournament, Battle of the Beast, that I really don't know how long I've been running this thing. I know it's for a long time. Let's see, I've been up here in Fort Mac for 6 years. I must have been at least running it for 3 years prior, so I've been running this tournament for more than 10 years, so a really long time. And the whole idea is, bring out your monsters. So it's 3,000 points, so it's a grand army. So if you want to bring tons of monsters, go for it. You can bring 3 of the rares and 4 specials and all that good stuff. And the other cool thing too is that you get to put your lords onto any monster. Ooh, almost broke that. From any book. And so you get some really cool stuff there. It is really competitive though still too, but I'm really hoping actually that this will be a fairly big tournament. Oh. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Got the little zappy pads. Where's my zappy pads? Uh-oh. There you are. We're good. We're not missing our zappy pads. Everything's fine. Where the hell does the zappy pad go? Goes on this side, eh? Which way? Is it this way or the other way? This is probably riveting listening for you guys. Okay. Clearly, it's the only way that it actually fits. So, anyway, I'm hoping for a pretty good turnout there. Again, I mean, if any of you guys are in the area over here, I have some people that sometimes contact me. It's like, what? You're actually in Alberta, man. I mean, I should come and play you. Come over and take part in the tournament. It's not going to be massive like Brawler's Bash. We're not up in like, we might have 100 type area. It's more the type of thing where I'm really kind of hoping this time, what did we have last time? We were around 30. So if we're like 30, 35, that'd be great. You know, like I might just cap it at 30 just to keep things simple. You know, I'm not looking to run any massive tournament. This is just me running it, nobody else. This is one of my little things I kind of do to give back. But yeah, I think you go like that. Where's my fist? Fist goes on like that. I'll punch you in the face. So whenever I do like it's an uppercut. Ah, I'm uppercutting no one. Ah. Is that actually going to look good or stupid? That's looking kind of stupid. Okay. We'll do it like that. And I just glued my thumb. Oh, ow. Ow. Okay, I see what happened. I filled the crevice with glue and it was pouring out. Accelerant. Make it stop. By the way, if you ever get glue on yourself, ow. The last thing you want to do is then get accelerant on it, because it turns out that this whole process here is an exothermic reaction and it'll get really hot. I hope no more glues come out of that stupid thing. Jeez. Anyway, yeah, yesterday I was at the shop playing a game, and what somebody did is they took their bottle of glue, opened it, sprayed an accelerant, and then sealed it. Not only is this like a complete waste of a bottle of glue, but the whole thing got really hot. They had to throw it out in the snow to make sure that, you know, they didn't know what was going to happen. And you look at the bottle after, and there's like this little whole bubble coming out. It came out like a good centimeter or something. But it's just, geez, why would you do that? It's just a complete waste. And, yeah. But, you know, that's the thing. Some people don't always have that whole logical process going on, right? All right, we'll put this on here. And we're looking pretty good. We are at 30 minutes. So whatever you're painting, hopefully you're half done, because we're about half the time here. Soon I'll be getting on to my new stuff. When I was talking about all the squigs I got in this deal here, actually Anthony was saying I should put them on Bartertown and just get the money that I can just buy a whole nother army. And I don't know, you know, I really would love to run a second horde of a squig herd horde. I just think it'd be great. One of the problems with it, of course, is that squig herds don't have a banner. So that can kind of bite you sometimes. Plus, it's one of those things, too, where sometimes they don't do so hot. You know, you got your squig herd, and they're awesome, and then somebody charges in the chariot, and they do, like, 8 wounds to you, beat you, you fail your test, and the whole thing explodes to one chariot. So there is a little bit of an issue there. I'm going to put this guy on sideways or something cool. But, you know, the idea of getting a whole another army, you know, that obviously would be nice as well. I don't know what army I'd get at this point. I'm actually almost tempted to start Beastmen, because in my area, Beastmen are disappeared. When we went to this last tournament here, there's almost every army there except for Skaven and Beastmen. And which was really odd, because I felt that at 1,600 points, Beastmen would do very well, right? One of their biggest weaknesses, they don't have war machines, other than like Cygor. And at that small point level, you don't really see many monsters. Meanwhile, their core can do fairly well, right? So, I don't know. But at the same time, I'm sure Beastmen would run just like my orcs and goblins for the most part, except with fewer options and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. That's really the way I go. I'm almost wanting to do them just to fill a gap in the meta, where around here there are no Beastmen. At the same time, you know, we already have, like, as far as YouTube goes, we have Once Bitten who's doing the Beastmen. So we're not missing them here. Past that, I don't know what other army I'd get. You know, there's clearly armies I don't own. Okay, right now I don't have Beastmen. I don't have Dark Owls. I don't have Demons of Chaos. I don't have Empire anymore. I don't have Chaos Dwarves. I think that's it. I mean, if you count my whole Throg army as Warriors of Chaos, but I think that's what I don't own right now. Chaos Dwarves, I'm not going to start those. Empire, I could, but I don't want to have to paint all those models. Although, if we are going to do another campaign, the three of us, once been Anthony and myself, that would be the easy one. If I just start Empire, then we're all in. But, I don't know. Demons would be easy to paint, but I'm not really too hot on the lack of tactical availability. Since they're all immune to psych, you don't really have a lot of those things where I can flee with this and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll probably just keep that Squig Herd and do awesome things with it. That's probably the way I'm going to go. Oh no, I broke them already. What the hell? Maybe this stuff is just bad. I'm using Gale Force 9 Primer. I'm using Armor Painter Super Glue. Maybe it's just this stuff is crap. And that's the real issue. Maybe that's why my... Actually, that's part of a different video. But in another big colossal go like this is the Galleon. And that guy's arms break off all the time. Now, keep in mind that could just because this is Canada and it's really cold and I have to leave my army in the car when I'm at work. And so when you have glue and metal and plastic going to 30 below, things will freeze and dripping everywhere at different rates. And so, of course, if the glue is shrinking faster or slower than what's around it, the bond will break, and that's how it falls apart. So that could be what's happening. Either way, it's a real pain in the ass every single time I use a model. I have to fix it. You glued on. Okay, we'll leave you. We'll make this other arm. It's always a killer, too. I always find that when something breaks, especially when I'm in the middle of painting it, I completely lose all will to keep on painting that thing. And that's how it was with the Galleon. I was in the middle of painting that thing, arms start breaking off, I lost all will to finish painting that thing off. Which is sad because it's a nice model and it's a powerful model, so I could be doing a lot. Oh, I glued it to the table. How smart am I? Oh, big huge gaps. This guy's foot is just like hovering off because the way this is set, it's not actually flat on the ground. So, I'm just going to flood it with glue. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe all my stuff falls apart because I don't... Ah, no! Glue on my pants! Fuck this glue. Oh, no. I've ruined so many pants by getting glue on it. And now I have tissue paper all over the model. Well, I hope your painting is going better than my gluing. Damn it. And this is why I normally change to my pajamas when I do my painting and gluing, is to make sure I don't do this. But I wanted to look nice for the camera, so I didn't do it. And clearly I'm not going to go and change now. This will be Malorian After Dark, where I go and paint and glue naked. Yeah, that'll last on YouTube for a long time. Oh, God. What a nightmare. That's what I have. I got all this Kleenex stock back here because I was trying to quickly wipe off the excess glue, but it was already mixed with primer. Hey, you know what? This model's flocked. Aha! There we go. God, this stupid thing. All right, are you glued down? Are we past this? Can we move on? I'm happy enough. It's not coming off. God, this stupid crap. And I'm going to be using this on the weekend here. And now I'll be going around and Oh, my pants. I wonder what type of things you guys have had problems with this, with gluing your hands to things and wrecking clothes. I have definitely got way too many clothes that have been wrecked by glue. Because all it takes is one drop, right? If you can get the glue before it dries, you can wipe it off and it's pretty much good. But when it, especially if it's mixed with accelant already, it basically just gets super hard there on the clothes. And while you're trying to work it off or while you wash or whatever, it'll actually like shear off and like tear there and very annoying. Although then again, I guess it could be worse. If I decide I was going to do this in the buff, I'm just going to wear no pants. And I'll just glue my leg to certain other sensitive areas. That could always be a problem as well. All right. We're going to focus. We're going to get this done. Jeez. So, I believe before I started having massive issues, I was talking about tournaments and stuff. So yeah, of course, there was the Brawler Bash that's going to be coming up there, and end of May. But the thing is here there is a tournament every single month, so I have no worries whatsoever that I'm not going to be getting enough tournament games in around here. Between the main metas here, there is always some game to go play somewhere. So, unfortunately, in February, there'll be no tournament there because I can't make it, but we'll be back. Hopefully, I won't glue my thumb here as well. I'm gonna run out of time here. I'm down to 20 minutes. I'm not done gluing this jackass together yet. Don't you drip. Jeez. But yeah, it's I want to do a real mix too. One of the things I'm wondering if I should be doing more or not is that I pulled out my Lizardmen to get a few more games in with them, and it was only then that I started realizing that all the old faces that used to do Lizardmen are not really around anymore. So now I'm wondering, just like I was talking about how Once Bitten is really the guide to go to if you want to see Beastman reports, should I be trying to pick up these reigns and trying to help out with the Lizardmen? I don't know. I like my Lizardmen, but I don't want to, change the focus of my channel or anything. I'm still, an Orc and Goblin player at heart. Oh, this did not go together at all. You can tell that these are even way different castings. One's a very, I'm guessing I won't be able to show you, but the top one's a really light plastic. Ooh, it actually was focusing. The top one's really light, and the bottom one's more of a regular gray. I'm guessing that's why it's not fitting together worth a damn. Big, huge gap there. Whatever. So, but I'll try and get a few more Lizardman games in for sure. I don't know if they'd really be tournament games. They would have been if I could have gone to this February one. I would have brought Mazdamondi. Used my new little theme song there. But unfortunately, yeah, that one fell apart. And yeah, I'll take him out in some more friendly games. That's the other thing I could do too. If I was to sell all those other squigs, get some more money and stuff, maybe I could get more of the things I'm missing from my other armies. So, say for my Lizardmen, I'm missing all the new goodies. The new giddies. I could be getting things like the new monsters, the Bastillodon. I could get some Riptodactyls. I could actually do with some more Saurus. Get some more core in there. I actually, in one of those videos, why aren't you fitting together? God, that stupid piece. That looks ridiculous. There seriously is like this 3mm gap now because this doesn't go together. Anyway, I've already actually sold my old Temple Guard. You guys probably saw there that I had a horde that had 20 of the new Temple Guard and 20 of the old ones. And when I was at this last tournament, a guy was looking to get some. And really, I I don't really need that many Temple Guard. It is extremely rare that I'd actually be using them. And normally when I am actually going that high, I'm usually using some crazy slan like Mazdamundi, who's not in Temple Guard anyway. So I thought, let's sell them. I actually sold them fairly cheap. I sold, what is it? I sold the 20 of them for $40, which is a pretty good deal. But yeah, hey, I guess I could always say I want to put that towards this as well. But yeah, it's one of those things where I just don't use them. The guy there was starting to really get into Lizardmen. He's definitely going to be using those Temple Guard all the time. So why not, right? Give it to the guy that's actually going to be able to use it. Because especially now with the current rules, you don't want to be having a horde of Temple Guard because they're not that great if they're not with the Slan. Yeah, you're looking badass. And, because the Slan explodes, kills all the Temple Guard, everybody cries. So the idea of 40, they're really powerful, but so are 40 regular Saurus. Put on his little nipple guns. Pew, pew, pew. Gonna shoot you. One of the things that could also be coming up here in March is another War Machine tournament for the some of you guys that care about that stuff. I've actually noticed that I've actually had a increase in the number of viewers for my War Machine report. So that's nice because for the longest time I was getting almost nothing. I was really wondering if I should just stop or all the rest of it. But it's really good to see that people are starting to watch them. With that in mind, I'm trying to be a little bit more competitive with it. Ergo the second Stormwall. But unfortunately, for those of you who saw it, that last tournament I went to with 5 games, whereas in fantasy I did fantastic and I won, I went 3-1 and did very well, only lost to the winner. For the War Machine tournament I was in, did not do that hot. And there really is that difference between the two systems where, in fantasy, there definitely is a knowledge aspect to it where you need to make sure you know the rules for all the armies, you know what to expect. If it looks like a Dark Elf player has no good spells, you better look to see if he has Warlocks because he'll probably be casting that stuff. So there is that knowledge there. But in War Machine, it is a big thing, right? If you don't know every spell that all these guys can do, guess what, sucker, you're dead. So, really different. So right now, the Stormwall is together. Focus on me, camera. So he's a little bit different. He got him looking to the side. He's also different because he has some Kleenex behind him. This glue. But I'm not quite done with him. I'll do the tiny little hydraulics a later time. And he actually has these tiny little pods. This is one of the craziest things about this guy is that he kind of walks around, and after he's done walking, he shoots out this little pod, which then does like a lightning between that and him. So you can just zap all these guys between you. And then there's other guys that can use that as a focal point to call down more lightning, and it's pretty powerful. So I got 3 of these to put together. Should then have time to look at that other stuff then. The army stuff I picked up. And I'm sure, hey, if I go over a little bit, and this is more than an hour, I'm sure you guys don't care. Oh darn, you guys got more painting done. What a shame. Stay. I asked last time if I should be doing videos teaching more for new players, and I got a lot of yeses. So I am going to be doing that series coming up. It's going to be more focused at really new players. So sorry to those out there who already know this stuff. It's really going to be the basics, right? Talking about these are what the different stats mean, and this is how you move around and all that stuff. But you know, hey, there was a call out there where people thought it'd be helpful, so why not? Also, I had almost the same thing for War Machine as well. I've already actually done ones for War Machine in the past where I explain how the system works, but you know, while I'm doing this for fantasy, I could always do that for this year too. I also have a bunch more ideas for Orc Tactical teams. They'll be coming up. I was supposed to be doing one today talking about Lookout Sirs and how that system works, and I can really get more benefit for you than you normally do. But unfortunately, between this video, a battle report I already did, and then the announcement video for Battle of the Beasts, just no time. But those are really coming along too. I mean, it's one of these things as well for those where I know I do some duplicate topics because I'll talk about something one time and then, you know, maybe another year or so down the road, somebody's still watching or wondering about it and they don't want to go back and search and find it. It's easier if I just cover it again. And, you know, to be fair, if I go and I cover something a year later, it is different because the meta changes. There's different interactions. You know, even if there's the same edition of the rule. Ah, no! Piece of shit. And I'm probably gluing myself. And even if there's the same edition of the rules and stuff, things change because there's other armies new. Oh, it just broke right off the base. I'll show you what these look like in a second. But they're just these tiny little things that look like they shot out and stuck in the ground. So it's just a tiny little connection going down to the actual base. Stick. Stick. I really wish GW had kept up their old glue. Really like that stuff. I think somebody told me that Gorilla Glue is almost exactly the same thing. Here's this pod I'm talking about. So a really small point where it's actually attaching to the base, and that's what happened. I was holding it like this, and it broke off. And there's one done. We got a Stormwall done. We got one pod done. 2 more pods. We're done this. So one of the things I'm actually having trouble with doing my armies is there's so many things that I actually want to try. I mean, I really wanted to do lots of games with my Wyverns, right? Or at least with one Wyvern. But then it's like, well, I also want to do games with this, and I also want to do games with this. That's the problem, is that there's so many fun things to do, and I can only get in so many fantasy games. I have like a group where we get together and we do a bunch of War Machine games, but I don't really have the same thing for for fantasy. It's more like the odd pickup game and then of course tournaments. All right, we got 2 pods done. We have some Slurpee to reward ourselves. All right, last pod. It's funny, in the you would think that'd be really easy for me to get a game in this area or down there in Edmonton, because there's this one guy who it seems like all the time he's posting on the Facebook group, who wants to have a game right now? God damn this. And it'll be like 3 in the morning, you know, and if anybody ever has any interest, he wants them to go over to his house. Who's going to just, you know, at 3 in the morning, go over to, fuck you, go over to a stranger's house to place, you know, a game of fantasy, right? I think if anything, I'd be like, okay, I'll meet you at the mall tomorrow, and I'll bring a friend, just in case you're a total weirdo. But, Almost done, almost done. Last stupid little casing, and we're done. Come on. Nothing break. Please. Nothing break. And done. So we got a storm wall, we got 3 pods. Done. Alright, I'm going to put away all the glue and stuff. And we're going to take a look at what I have in the mystery box. Because it seems every single time I peek in there, there's something else I didn't realize was there last time. So, you just move out of the way, Stormwall. We got Orcses. I guess with this, let's see how good of an angle I can get here. It's alright. Alright, we got a bag. And in this bag, we got a bunch of night goblins who are stabbing the bag and don't want to come out. One of the really nice things that this guy did, and something I was considering before but never got around to it. Actually, I did this with my old Empire army, is you can actually order these bases where they're set up so you can be putting them 4 models wide. So he has a lot of night goblins like this. And whereas I was complaining before that it takes a long time, jeez, to set up all your night goblins. If you have them on these little trays, it's a lot easier. So, yeah, night goblins. Another bag, Bago Fanatics. And they even have the one here, which is the guy throwing a guy. Fanatic. Don't know if I could really use that one. They actually cut up pennies to put in the bottom here. Because it's not really the right base size. This is more of something you could put actually in the unit. It would kind of give away that there's fanatics in the unit, but it'll be fun to do. Otherwise, whole bunch of fanatics. Why are they on square bases? They're not supposed to be on square bases. I'll have to break off all the bases from these guys. Frick. Alright. This guy's broken. I can always put something there. Alright. What else we got? Another bag. And these are a whole bunch more archers. More archers on these ones. Some broken off. A lot of missing bases. I don't know if he has bases further on or if he was planning to glue them all down. But hey, bases are cheap if I need to get them. God, sorry about all the coughing. I'm feeling like Mr. Reef. There, he's always saying that it bothers him when he coughs. I don't know what's happening to me. All right. Tray. Move over. We have several more trays of night goblins. We have more fanatics. We have, in this one here, a couple of the goblin shaman. 3 of them. Actually, I have this one that I don't own this guy yet. The other 2 models here I set up on my chariots because last edition it was actually good to have your shaman on chariots. But, yeah, there's also this guy. Probably not going to focus on him. But yeah, he's pretty cool. I don't have that guy yet, so, well, now I do. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 squigs in this tray. Plus a lot of their little, like, music banging guys beside them. We have more fanatics. Hey, and some of them on round bases. It's a Christmas miracle. Okay. There's also, like, the little snotlings holding a cannonball. I don't think I could pass that off as a fanatic. Yeah, I don't know if I can really get the focus in, but, I mean, would that really pass as a fanatic? Some crazy snotling gonna throw it and, like, drop it on your toe? I do 1 strength, 1 attack at random. Anyway. More fanatics. One of them on square base. More. Oh, here's more of these guys, the squigs, and they're on the good base. There's 4 of them there. More night goblins, night goblins, night goblins. A whole bunch of the spiders. What are you? Huh. Is that broken? It's like this old BSB or something. So this guy here, I don't recognize the actual goblin. Here, hold my face so it actually goes on. Anyway, he has a stick that's full of skulls. Looks like something should be at the top that was cut off. I can always put something there again. But he has like a weird dunce cap on as well. I can always make him some big SB. There is the metal guy, the goblin war boss with the great weapon. Lots and lots of spiders. Oh, there's the other cave squig. Just a sword. Probably change that guy up for some other weapons. Skarsnik's weapon. That's that tray. And then the last tray. Oh, this is where we have a lot of the painted stuff. Painted squigs. And, oh, there's his head. Before, with, here's Skarsnik. It didn't look like he had his head, and I was a little bit worried. But here his head is, so that's good. It's all here. So, yeah, we're going to have to give that guy a try. So, he's there. Let's see. So, with that other base, what else we got here? More fanatics, and these ones on round bases. One has a rock attached. So I'm guessing there's always this fanatic where he's like upside down. So he's actually put a rock on here to make it weighed down so he actually won't fall over. Hey, it works. What I always do with it is I just say, screw it. I know that's how it's supposed to be, and I always glue them down this way. But this works too. So that's all good. We have, that one guy that I had there before, the guy that I didn't have before, the shaman. There's actually one here, and it's painted, and it's actually painted fairly well, which is actually a shame because he will look very out of place compared to the rest of my army. Yeah, well. A few more night goblins in here, a few squig hoppas. Ooh, this is a very old squig hoppa. I'd show you, but it's really not going to focus in that well. But anyway, people probably want to know. Okay, another group of 4, so that's 24. We'll see if the number was right. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. I'm not sure if I count him. So there's about another 40. But then past that, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squig hoppers. And right now I own a couple of squig hoppers, and what I do is I use them as unit fillers because really it's just a squig. And instead of the handlers being in front, oh look, he's riding it. So these guys here, I could go either way with them. But yeah, I definitely now have enough. If I want to run 2 hordes of 40, easy. I could also run the unit of squig hoppers beside. There's what are these guys called? A Nobbler Trapper in here for some reason. I'm guessing he was just using him as a goblin boss. And I guess he could get away. All I have to really do is rip off his head, put on a goblin head, and that would work off a lot easier. It's a cool head, though, where he has like a bear trap for a mouth. So it's cool and actually really hides the big nose to make it easier to believe it's a goblin instead. But, I don't know. We'll see. I'll do something. I wonder if I could... Where is the... I was wondering if I could put him in the cave squig, but no, it doesn't work out like that. That's right. He's attached. The one from Forge World, actually, the guy that's riding on top, you can just take him off completely. He's set up so that he just fits on perfectly on top of the squig. But if you wanted to use it just as a squig or put something else on there, it's set up for it. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what to do with him. But yeah. maybe that'll be the plan for next week. I'm going to try and really set up a game where I'm going to use this special character. I keep on wanting to call him Sneglet Gobspit, because oddly enough, I've used Sneglet Gobspit more than, what's his freaking name now? I can't remember. It's not Sneglet Gobspit. Skarsnik. But, yeah, I'm going to try and get him in a game, because it'd be fairly easy. Although, unfortunately, the main guy I play up here, he usually watches this, so he'll know it's coming. Whatever. Not that big of a deal. But there you go. I've painted my storm. What I didn't paint, I glued together my storm wall, glued together the pods, glued my pants, showed you my winnings, and yeah, I'm a happy guy because all this for $80. Pretty good grab. That was pretty good. Make a comment about that too. I want to hear about what you painted. I'd love to hear whether you would rather I sell this and try and get something else. I think that'd be a shame. But, you know, if you're like, screw it, 2 squeak hurt horrors is dumb, you know, whatever. But either way, thank you for watching. I'm sure this Paintisode was a lot more weird. Here, why am I ducking down? I'm sure this Paintisode was a lot more kind of odd to watch because there's a lot of as I fumble things around and glue on Kleenex and all the rest of it. But either way, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you later. Bye.